Hi there. I'm coming to you from Integral Yoga here in San Francisco, and I'm doing my reading from The Golden Present, Daily Inspirational Readings by Sri Swami Satchidananda. There's actually a picture of him behind me, but I don't think you can see it. Um, and today is February 11th, and the topic is the highest realization is that. Everything is happening according to God's will. Everything. God is behind everything. We are all puppets. He pulls a string, I raise my hand this way, another string, I raise my hand another way. He drops the string, my arm drops. So we are all puppets. If we realize that, why should we worry about the role we are playing? If He wants you to play that part, play it. No part is big or small. Only by knowing this truth can you become great. It is immaterial where you are, what you are doing. The great saint Taimanuvar said, "Don't worry about which is better, monastic life or household life. Both are equally good if only you know one secret. What is the secret? We are all tops. There is one player. He simply winds the string around and pulls it, and then we spin. Depending on how tightly the rope is wound and how fast he plays, you rotate for a while and then you fall down. It's not how you present yourself, what you call yourself, what you do for a job that's important. The most important thing is, do you know that you are nothing but a top and that at any moment your swinging could stop? The highest realization is that, knowing that every minute that great presence is in you, functioning through you, and you are nothing but an instrument. Certainly this reading would I'd probably relate to it differently with prior to some of the events going on in the world, but that's what I enjoy about these readings. Is it really pushes me to my edge of comfort and into that place of a bit of discomfort with some of the times when I read these and how I feel about them. And because I've heard Swami Satchidananda speak about life this way before, I can relate to what he's talking about and recognize that when I believe that I am the only one, I'm pulling my own strings of my own self, and everything's happening because of my creation and all that. That's actually a small perspective of the way I see the world, because it's not possible that I would have that much genius to be able to create all the life experiences that I've had at this time and at this point in my life. Because certainly I would probably not have asked for some of these experiences to have happened, where I've been uh, in places where I've had pain, sorrow, anguish, um, confusion, anger of my own actions, anger of someone else's actions, um, resentments, loathing, self-loathing, loathing of things outside of myself. Um, I would have addictive behaviors, compulsive things, all that. I wouldn't have asked for any of those, but I've learned that it's from those and being able to reach a point of acceptance about those that I've found a new level of peace and a new level of appreciation for how vast and um, beautiful the world is. Likely I would have taken away those things and tried to make, no, I want only this pretty thing in my life and only this beautiful experience and only these people and only this level of um, life experience is what I want to, paint my picture with. And who knows what that would have looked like? I can't say. All I know is that um, I'm grateful for the way that things have happened in my life, and to be able to have the opportunity to grow from them, and to really be open to this idea that actually I'm not the one in control of all this. That all of my life experiences have brought me to a place to accept that there is some higher power, some other, universal nature or wisdom that's causing these things to happen. Just like the moon is part of the reason why there's the tides. There's the ocean has movement. And I remember, learning about something like that. It's like, wow, that's almost magical to think about how there's an energetic field and something happening with the gravity and force and all that. It helps me recognize that there is something greater operating, and I think there is a greater intelligence than what my mind is able to wrap around. I know that for sure. One, because there's obviously smarter people than me, but then I just think there's always kind of a higher vibration from everything that we know. And it's part of what the yogis studied. They recognize that all is vibration, and that there are different vibrational frequencies through our body. There's the lower frequencies, higher frequencies, and of course science investigates all this as well. So there's a recognition of this other higher frequency of movement and things operating. So when I think of that, I can come back to this reading. I can think about the idea of the being a puppet, strings being pulled in a different frame of mind that doesn't sound like I'm empty and devoid of a conscience. It doesn't sound like I'm just completely without power. It gives a recognition and honor to the fact that there is something greater that is functioning through me. And I would imagine, even as I'm sharing this, there's a part of me that's able to let go and not get too caught up in critiquing myself, because I know there's something else. When I chose to do this, it almost like it pushed me into doing it, because I didn't really want to, and then it was going back and forth, and something just said, just do it. In terms of stuff with our current news, thinking about being a puppet and strings being pulled, we hear about this, and but then even go further than that, someone's pulling that person's strings and making them be a puppet, and back and back. And so there's something going on that's obviously beyond our ability to add it all up right now, to know what purpose this possibly could have, how this possibly could add up to something positive and beneficial. What I feel like I've learned is to trust that there has to be something somewhere on the continuum, that this is going to lead to this greater sense of understanding ourselves as an individual and as a nation, as a world, that we might not have otherwise known. Something's being broken open or broken down on the floor, like shattered, to kind of shake us, right? And maybe we would never have chosen this to be the thing that helps to shake us up, but it could be that being, you could be so asleep that other things aren't going to wake you up. If everything seems kind of like, it's okay, then we're not noticing all these other pretty horrible things that are happening and have been happening. Last year, the year before, a year before, a year before, decade before, 20 years. I mean, there's so much ugliness still in the world that is to be looked at, that in some ways I think we're finding more willingness to look at some of those things, because some things have been shattered and broken into many pieces all over the floor. And again, would we have chosen that? I don't think so. So it just, why, right? There must be something greater. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. If you have any thoughts on that, I'd love to hear about them. And maybe as a practice today can be just maybe recognizing that there is something greater behind each action. So rather than either giving all the credit or all the blame to the one person, wonder what's behind that. And is there a person, or what's behind that? Is it something else that's driving that into my life experience? Yeah. Okay. There it is. I'll just leave it at that. Thank you for watching.